Okay, I'm kind of laughing here. This is Dr. Andy Yates on the Incongruous channel, and I'm here to just remind everybody that I wrote a book about 10 years ago called Seeing is Believing, and I'm going to discuss that, give you a skinny of it first, like a synopsis, and then I'm going to go through it at different levels and stuff. So, I'm laughing because I've had so much trouble doing this video, and I thought I'd done a good version of it after resolving various technical issues, only to find that something wrong with the sound, and on one side of the sound it was all crackling and popping. I'm just like, it's driving me crazy. Here's my coffee cup. Okay, that's what I got to do, haven't I? Keep calm, carry on. That's what we British do. Right, this is the book right here. Seeing is Believing, right? This is the one. It's still in print, as you can see. There's a picture on the back, the description of me. Yeah. And it's a very good book. It's actually based on my dissertation. It's just more of a readable version. Just checking my hair out here. It's a much more readable version because when you write a dissertation, it has to be academically correct with everything referenced and stuff like this. Where you kind of take all of that if you want to make it a friendly, readable book. Anyway, it's had some really good comments and stuff like this. Let me tell you what it's about. I'll explain the title in the longer version following the synopsis. Let's just do that first. So if you're interested in the book, you can go and get it. As usual, my books are on Amazon. If you just put Dr. Andy Yates in there, you'll get to see all of them. This one is C''ing is believing. Seeing is believing. And there's this YouTube video, so the links will be below. Also the link to my website, which will have the book in there eventually when I put it in. And there's a hypnosis script in there that I want you to take a look at because it goes with chapter 8 of this book. Right? So anyway, that's the way it all fits together. So let's talk about it. In the first chapter, I talk about the way the mind works and how it can embed beliefs into your mind. And there may be beliefs that are fine, and there may be beliefs that are unwanted. They're things maybe that happened to you as a kid that have traumatized you or affected you in some ways that you now find are incorrect, but they're embedded inside you. And there's this internal conflict going in you when you want to think in a more intelligent, modern way with new information and new knowledge that's come in, but you're struggling against this old belief that was drilled into you in the past. And that sort of thing might be something prejudicial from your family or from your peers or whatever that really you want to clear out of your system because intellectually now you know that's wrong and something you don't want. But again, it's in there inside you. So you just want to get that out and refresh yourself with a new set of beliefs. This is all about recognizing your beliefs, deciding what they are, deciding which ones you want, which ones you don't want, and then getting rid of the ones you don't want, or at least modify them. Okay. So in the book, I talked about that, the way the mind actually works and so on. Lots of examples of client conversations between the conscious and the subconscious, tables, diagrams, even a mathematical formula of how all this might work. I then gone on to talk about things from my past, like Catholicism, how going to mass and all that kind of thing is a massive hypnotic process that drives those beliefs into your head. And then you're stuck with them for years and years afterwards. I always used to tell a story about because the spinsters at the junior school used to beat the beliefs into us, and I mean that. They would tell you that when you say the name Jesus, you should always bow your head. Jesus. And it was just some cutesy thing they used to do. This wasn't in the rules of the Catholic Church. It was some cutesy thing. Well, then when you go out of junior school and you go into higher level schools and you say the name Jesus and your body is programmed to go, that's Jesus. People say, what are you doing that for? And take the mickey out of you and you try to stop doing it. And you do eventually. You change that programming, that belief. So anyway, I talked about that. And I also talked about things like Satanism, karma, belief in different things, Egyptian culture, stuff like that. This idea of you can approach this thing in a scientific way on one end of the continuum and a more spiritual way on the other end of the continuum. It doesn't really matter. The process is the same. Whether it's an entity or a spirit, whether it's an aspect of your personality or some invading, some would say demon, whatever, it's the same thing. It all affects your mind in the same way and is resolved in the same way. I then talked about contra religious belief, which is like atheism, agnosticism, stuff like that. That isn't based on any particular belief, but again, it is a belief. And you may not agree with it. You may want to embrace more religious belief. It's up to you. I talked about the placebo effect because that's very important. So that's a belief. So if you believe in something, it may have aspects that control your body because mind, body, and energy are all connected together. I can't get that on the screen. Are all connected together. It's going backwards. No one. Are all connected together in a triangle. There you go. And so whatever you do in your mind will affect your body. Whatever you do in your body will affect your mind, and then also your energy system. So if you really believe that something is going to help your healing process or help cure a disease or help in some way, then it will, because it will activate your own immune system. It will activate your body's defenses and bring them to your aid. In a sense, that's the way a vaccine works, as we know quite a lot about vaccines nowadays. They put this thing, they mess about with the vaccine or they mess about with the human body or whatever to activate antibodies which come out and fight the vaccine and kill it off. And then that further is embedded in the immune system by creating lymphocytes like T cells, B cells, killer cells, stuff like that, which again at a deeper level, further down the road, recognize a virus, create the antibodies, and the antibodies go out and beat up the disease. It's good. It's the way it works. And that's a placebo. You know, there are trials where so many people, 50% are given nothing, a placebo, and 50% are given a drug. And they often find they're about the same. And sometimes they find that the placebo actually works better because they believe that they are going to get better, or at least they believe that their body will help them recover. There it is. It's good. I talked about the edge of your beliefs. So the edge of beliefs are the limits of what you believe. Well, I honestly believe, and my recommendation, suggestion, is that make the edge of your belief a soft wall, not a hard one. Because there are always things, as we see science expanding into the realms of neutron stars, black holes, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, we find the limits of our understanding being stretched all the time. Well, if that can happen in science, then that can happen in any aspect of our lives. So that's kind of quite important, isn't it? So anyway, then I then talked about, once I talked about the edge of our beliefs, I talked about how we change our beliefs. So chapter 8 in the book is very important. I discuss ways of changing it, little processes you can go through, different ways like this. And then chapter 8 in the book kind of directly links to a script that I wrote and recorded in a professional studio and put it on my website, www.drndyates.com, and it's free. And you can just go into my site. You don't have to log in or anything. Just go into my site, find the script. There's a tab up the top. Just click it. Boom, you'll see it. Click the play button. Off it goes. Simple as that. Free. And as much as you like. I have people that play it every day. I'll talk about that a bit. But anyway, this is the skinny. Available on Amazon and Kindle. Dr. Andy Yates into Amazon. Click the links below. Check it out. There's a good description in Amazon of a chapter blow by blow of what is actually in the book. I think if you go in the Kindle version, you can actually read the first chapter. It's all good. Check it out. Amazon, Kindle, links below. Seeing is believing. All right, so let's look at this a little bit wider. The idea of seeing is believing. It's kind of an odd title. It's kind of hokey. I thought it was a cutesy way of doing things at the time. There are a lot of people doing cutesy things, and I wanted this thing to be popular because I felt I had a good message that I wanted to go out there. And now I look back at it and I think, yeah, that was a bit lame. But there we are. We learned, don't we? That was 10 years ago. I've learned from it. But the idea is the C's. Letter C. So capture your beliefs and limiting beliefs, construct a model of your own belief, consider the value of your old beliefs, construct a model of your new desired beliefs, change your beliefs. All C's, you see. And then each chapter begins with the letter. The title of the chapters begins with the letter C. So the first one, conscious belief, is the one where I describe how the mind works to create these beliefs. And generally it's a good thing. It's a survival mechanism. You believe that kind of yellow, stripy, big teeth claws is something to avoid. Tiger, right? You believe that a pretty blue thing with 5 petals and green leaves is probably something that will smell nice. Flower, right? These are your beliefs. Therefore, your, survival. And that's important. But then sometimes you get beliefs driven in by your other parts of your society, by your parents, by your peers, or whatever like this, that you don't want, like homophobia or a particular religious belief. You may want to, because remember, these beliefs are not yours. They're ones that have been programmed into you. So you may want to do, which is what I did, which is kind of wipe the slate clean and say, what actually do I believe in? Me personally. Not what was taught to me as a kid or beaten into me at the Catholic junior school. What do I personally believe in? Do I believe in pure science? Do I believe in science plus a bit? It's like the question about aliens, right? You've got people who believe that aliens it's all nonsense. Anything to do with aliens, rubbish. Move a little bit from that, and you know that scientifically, most scientists say, well, there's so many planets and opportunities for aliens to exist that they probably do. We don't know if they're bacteria, a very simple microbial level, or whether they're something as advanced as us, intelligent, sentient, or even more advanced because they've had longer to evolve. So, and then some people actually believe that there are aliens here right now walking among us, and we receive messages that are sent to us, channeled from the Pleiades, Sirius, and whatever. It's all right. But having that soft edge of your belief can let some of that in, because some of it might be true. We might find out in 10 years, 20 years, that in actual fact, those voices we were hearing were real. It's interesting, isn't it? Anyway, so I talked about that. I talked about the idea of there are lots of situations within our life that are hypnotic. Being at church, being at school, associations with your friends, your peers, your buddies can create the same kind of opening of your mind where suggestions go in and stick. And usually they're okay, but sometimes they're not. And I talked about placebos, I talked about the edge of your beliefs. As I've said, keep that soft. And then mainly about changing your beliefs if you want to. If there are things in your life that actually aren't serving you anymore. You do them because they're inbuilt, but actually they're not providing you with any benefits, any comfort, any happiness, improving your life, enlightening your being. Maybe it's time to kind of modify those beliefs a bit so that you can open up to more things. But I'm not telling you to change. I'm just saying have a look and see if you need to. That's all. And this is a process you can use to do it. And that free hypnosis script that's on www.drandyh.com, very useful for that process. Lots of people use it. As I said, I have one person, or several people that use it every day. This one woman uses it every night, and she says she goes to sleep every night with my voice in her ears. And, and then her boyfriend at the time anyway, looks at me like, yeah, oh yeah. So, but anyway, but it does it good. And I suppose something like that can be used to resolve the issues of the day. So if you've had a hard time at work with maybe one of your colleagues or something, you could put that in there because it's designed that way, designed to be generic, that you can put your issues into it just by like a code word or whatever. And then it's processed through. So there we are. Anyway, so that's that. And then it goes on to a summary and stuff like this. So it's there, Amazon and Kindle. Dr. Andy Yates, you'll get them all my books. Excuse me. This is about the third time I've done this, so that's why I'm coughing. It's at the links below. So you can always come back to the Incongruous YouTube channel and pick up the links from here. If you go to my website, www.drandyyates.com, I will embed it into there sometime in the next few days. Just there, check it out. Check it out. Good descriptions on Amazon. You can read that through, decide if you want to have a look at it. And like all my books, they're pretty cheap. I'm not trying to make a big bundle of money out of it. I just want the message to go out. You know? Okay. And the hypnosis script on the website, free. As much as you want. Okay? So, my pleasure. Dr. Andy Yates on the Incongruous channel. And please, take care.